Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let's dive right in. We're talking about a battle against one of the deadliest cancers out there. But what if the key to winning that fight was already inside of us? Today, we're exploring a truly formidable foe, pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma, or PDAC for short, and a revolutionary new battle plan that might just defeat it. And look, this isn't just a tough fight. PDAC is notoriously incredibly difficult to treat. That's because of its high recurrence rates and its terrifying ability to spread throughout the body.
So to really get a grip on the challenge here, we first have to understand why this cancer is just so darn resilient.
Well, for starters, the cancer builds this complex, super dense environment around itself. Think of it like a fortress, right? It physically shields it from our immune system and even our most powerful medical treatments. It's an absolute master of defense. But here's the thing. Our bodies have their own built-in defense system. We're talking about a team of elite soldiers perfectly designed for this exact kind of threat. I want you to think of NK cells as your body's special forces. Seriously, they are constantly on patrol, hunting down and destroying threats like cancer cells. And here's the kicker. They don't need any prior instructions or training. They are just born for this mission. So their mission is pretty straightforward but incredibly effective. First, they identify the threat, an abnormal cancer cell. Then, they engage the target, locking on to prepare for an attack. And finally, boom, they eliminate it by releasing these molecules that just obliterate the cell. It's a simple, powerful process that's protecting us every single day. Okay, so that leads to the big question, right? If we have these elite cancer-fighting cells, why do they fail against pancreatic cancer? It's a great question, and it's what researchers are wrestling with. Because the cancer isn't just sitting there, it's actively fighting back. And it's a clever fighter. To survive, PDAC has developed this really sophisticated three-pronged strategy specifically to neutralize our NK cells. First up, the cancer builds a literal fortress. This dense, fibrous structure, scientists call it the stroma, makes it nearly impossible for our NK cells to physically get inside and reach their targets. Okay, part two. Even if a few of our soldiers manage to breach the wall, the cancer disarms them. It just floods the area with these signals that basically shut down their ability to release those cell-killing molecules. They become completely useless. And finally, for the finishing move, the cancer makes sure our army can't call for reinforcements. It creates these toxic conditions that stop the NK cells from multiplying. So our forces on the ground, they just dwindle away. But here's where the story turns. Scientists now have a new intelligence briefing, and by understanding the cancer's defenses, they've developed a brand new counter-strategy to fight back. So, instead of a one-size-fits-all kind of attack, this new approach is all about gathering intel from three key places: the tumor itself, its environment, and our own NK cells. The goal? To create a therapy that's totally tailored to that individual's specific fight. And this is how it works. They look for specific chemical signals, biomarkers, in each of those areas. So, for example, a signal coming from the tumor might tell us how it's growing. A signal from the environment can reveal just how strong its fortress is. And a signal from the NK cell itself? Well, that can tell us exactly why it's been weakened. All this intel allows us to pinpoint the exact weaknesses in the cancer's defense system. It's brilliant. Okay, so armed with this new intelligence, we can now look at the next generation of therapies. These are all designed to rearm our soldiers and hopefully win the battle. All right, one set of strategies is all about boosting our NK cells' firepower. For instance, you have HDCH blockers, which basically paint a brighter target on the cancer cells, making them easier to spot. Then there are DJK inhibitors, which are like removing the safety switch on the NK cells, letting them attack at full power. And cytokine modulation? Think of that as sending a constant signal to our NK cells, basically yelling, "Supercharge your activity." Another approach is just to call for reinforcements, and a lot of them. Use things called NK cell engagers, which act like molecular ropes that physically tie our NK cells directly to cancer cells, forcing them to fight. And adoptive NK therapy is even more direct. We basically grow a massive army of NK cells in a lab and then infuse them back into the patient. The idea is to just overwhelm the tumor with sheer numbers. And finally, you've got strategies designed to just breach those fortress walls. Fake inhibitors actually soften that dense environment, which makes it way easier for NK cells to get inside. Things like vitamin D analogs can reduce all that fibrous tissue. And then there's hyaluronidase, which is basically an enzyme that acts like a wrecking ball, breaking down the tumor's physical barrier to let our immune army just flood right in. So when you put it all together, these strategies represent a really fundamental shift in how we think about fighting cancer.
The goal here isn't just to attack the cancer directly anymore. It's to dismantle its defenses and empower our own immune system to do what it does best.
And as the researchers behind this whole strategy point out, this isn't about finding just one new magic bullet drug. It's a whole new framework for developing smarter, more effective treatments that are personalized for each and every patient's unique battle. So it leaves us with a really powerful question, doesn't it? Could reactivating our own internal army be the ultimate weapon against cancer? Now, while this is still in development, this research opens up a future where we don't just fight the disease, we empower our own bodies to win the war. And that is an incredible idea, and one that holds just so much promise for the future.